Hey guys, it's our cubes here, and on this video we are gonna solve this cube, which is the Crazy Megaminx Plus of the brand Sengsho. And first of all, as the description says, this cube is modified since the white, the dark blue, the other blue, the orange, and this face. I mean that these faces are the ones that have these kinds of turn. As you may know, the cube, if you buy a new one, it has all the faces with this type of turn, but I've modified mine for having these three and these two color centers with this type of turn. So let's solve the cube. I'm just gonna explain the hierarchy that I follow for solving this cube, and the pieces that I solved the first in all the cube are the internal edges. Well, that's the way that I call these pieces. Then the external edges in all the cube also, then the internal corners, and finally the external corners. I don't know why it isn't strictly important, but sometimes what I do is to start with the white cross, so let's do that. Here we have the first cross, which, well, this is not a cross because it doesn't have the same geometry as a cube, but you know what do I mean. So the next step is to do exactly the same on all the faces. For this part I don't have a specific algorithm, just you have to keep in mind which centers have this type of turn, and that way you'll think which edges you can move to which place and all those things. For example, here I have a red one and I'm gonna put it here. First of all, I'll destroy for a moment the things that I've created, and there we go. Here I have a purple one and I'm gonna put it too. I have this one which is from this green, and this one that is blue. I can put them both with no problem. Okay, I guess that those were all the edges, well, the internal edges from these parts of the cube that were on these places, on the nearest faces. You know what do I mean. And also we have to construct the internal edges, but the ones that are around this face, you know, these ones. And here we have one that is right, and well, here we have two colors that should be on these surrounding faces, and here we have another one. How can I put it on the correct place? Like this. And now we can do a movement as this one, and as you can see here they are. The next step is to find out the rest of the internal core edges, sorry, and here I can do something like this. No, well, as you can see, here I have the blue, here I have the purple, and here I have a red right here. If you remember, this is one of the faces that can turn like this, and I can put the red right here doing this. And as you can see, it works. Here we have the red right now, I'm gonna do the same. I need the yellows here, the yellow here, 2 greens and 1 more blue. Here we have a yellow, and we can do something like this. Well, first I'm gonna build this one, for example. Yes, I have to do something like this, and there on the where this green is, I'm gonna put this one. Now I have to undo the strange movements that I did before, and let me try because I forgot them. Okay, I guess that one goes there. We have this one. Okay. Okay, there it is, the yellow. I put the one that I wasn't willing to put, but doesn't matters. Now, no. We can do things like this for putting another yellow on this face that can turn like this. I don't know how do you call this color, but in my language it's like beige or something like that. Okay, and we are missing just 2 greens and 1 red. Let me see. Well, we can use this red because I want to put this one first, so we're gonna use this one. How? Like this. Okay, and now we can do something like this, and there we are. And let me find, well, here we have a green. Well, something that I've just noticed is that, for example, for this red, I can just make this movement, and now we connect with the face that has the type 1 turn. Well, I'm just translating how does this and this type of turns of faces are called in my language, but put me on the comments if they are called on a different way on English. We're missing 2 yellows. Oh, well, here I can do something like this. Here I can put a blue, well, an internal corner of that dark blue, but here it is. It won't be necessary. Also, we need to put here 2 yellows. We can do it like this. Okay, and I need this one. I need another yellow. Okay, I've seen that here I can turn this, then a double turn here, and finally this. And here we have these ones. We're just missing this red, which is gonna be kind of easy. And there we have the first internal corners that I've told you, that are the ones that are on the surrounding pieces of the white face. Then I'm gonna adjust the shine. Okay. The next step, well, this is the part of this this is another part of the same step, but we're gonna build the internal edges on all the left faces. Something funny happens at the end. I'm gonna explain it when we arrive at that part. But we have to do like a kind of U-perms, as well, they are not entirely U-perms, but they are pretty similar. I'm gonna show you. We have to take a bit more of care when we are solving or building, constructing the internal edges. Well, in general, all the pieces, when we are on the surrounding faces of the faces that have the type 1 turn, but that's something intuitive, because if most of the faces have another type of turn, obviously you should have more care. Okay, well, you can watch here that I need to put an orange here. Well, what I can do is something like this. I'm gonna take this place where a piece can be put here, then I'm gonna take it here, and since this face has a type 0 turn, I can turn this like this. This one has type 1. I'm gonna put it, return, return, and return. And here we have this one. We are just missing the clear red, clear green, which we have one right here, and there it is. Also, we have to put that yellow, and sometimes on these cubes, which have a lot of pieces, the most difficult thing is to find where a piece is, rather than building the pieces. That happens, for example, on the icosahedrons that I've shown before. Okay, that you may have seen how did I build, did I put in place these two internal edges, like making a movement as this one. You have to play and to imagine what you can do having these two types of turn. That's like the main idea on this type of cubes, that you have to play with both kinds of turn, and well, in my case, to create a hierarchy of which pieces are you gotta solve the first. Here I did again an internal edge. So I guess that I won't comment anymore. I'm just gonna solve them. Okay, here I'm gonna show you something interesting, and it's gonna be important for the next step. I mean that when we build the external edges. If we have like this type 0 turn face and a type 1 turn face, we can do like a kind of U-perm. I mean that we are gonna have like a cycle of these 3 internal edges, and as you'll see on the next part, and that algorithm is the one that we're gonna use for solving these external edges, but it just consists of making something. Well, we can do it on whichever place, but something like this. And as you may know, it only changes the internal and the external edges, because you are just doing like this. It doesn't affect these ones that were created before, and that same theory, that same strategy we're gonna use on the next step. But let me do something before. Well, I'm not gonna comment. Okay, we have arrived at the final part of this step, well, of building the internal edges, and is that we have to again play between the 2 types of turn for building the final internal edges. But something funny happens here, because well, we can use an algorithm that I've shown on a lot of videos that is called Pasear el Perrito. Yeah, its name is on Spanish, but we're gonna use it like this. As you may have seen, I've used it having here like the 3 faces with this type of turn, because it's important. And here we need a gray, and here a red. Okay, I've seen. We're gonna do something like this. Well, obviously just if the cube wants to cooperate, because it wasn't willing to turn. Okay, there we are. Let's see. Okay, yes, and we're gonna do this finally. And I guess that there are all the internal edges completed. For the next step, we're gonna use the same algorithm that I've told you before, that can make like a kind of U-perm on the, well, that can just commute 3 of the internal edges. That same algorithm is gonna be very important right now. Well, I'm gonna show it right here. Here we have like an edge that we want to have here, but we will first put it with one of its 2 colors, because these external edges have 2 colors obviously, on its color. Well, I'm gonna show it first with this one. We're gonna do something like this. We make like a kind of U-perm, and we have to undo some movements. I'm gonna match this edge too, and with the same strategy. And there we are. Now for solving this one, I'm first gonna put it here with its blue part and facing to the face blue. And there we are, and now we can do this. And there we have like 3 of the external edges solved, and that's like the main idea. But something that you maybe have noticed is that, for example, I did this movement with this face at the top, and this face is like at this turn, and then I guess that here, and this one is 0 type turn. It doesn't matter, but for example, sometimes you can do like a setup, as you may know. That's how we call it, like a previous movement that we do for before an algorithm. But if we have just a type 0 turn faces, we can do something like this, and it doesn't matter. You can have more like more freedom when you're moving just type 0 turn edges. So you can do something like this, for example. Now just build that edge. You can have more freedom, but if you have like a type 0 like a type 1, sorry, turn face, you have to have more care, because if you just do something like this, you are destroying what you just built. I mean the internal edges. So I'm just gonna well, once explained the general strategy, I'm gonna solve the cube. Well, I thought that was everything, but something that I forgot to mention is that you can do this algorithm if this place that you use like this, if this face is type 1 turn, because if you may notice, I make like a U-perm, like a cycle of these 3 edges, and that wasn't planned in real, but that gives more value to this tutorial. Sorry, I forgot the name. We can put this one here, and there we are. Now it has its white part facing here to the white face, and we can put it on its place. But guess what? We have here and here 2 external edges that are correct yet, and notwithstanding, we have 3 external edges places that are free, and we can do the algorithm with no problem. But just putting here for making this cut the places where there are no external edges, that, well, the ones that were built yet. And I'm gonna just continue doing this. As you may know, it's exactly the same for all the faces. Okay, here I have more comments. Sorry if it was too much, the part where with no comments. But for the next part, I've solved each and every of the external edges except for the gray face ones and one of the rest. And how can we put it on the correct place, because this face is a type 1 turn, and what we are gonna do is that we have to put this face, well, as I mentioned before, with one of its color on the face of that color. In this case it's gotta be the clear blue, but we have to put it like keeping in mind that we will undo a cycle of the ones that I mentioned. What do I mean? I want to put this piece right here, but I want to have this place of piece. That's the only way that I can say it. Here, like this. And now we can put this piece, obviously doing something like this. And now we will undo the cycle that I did here before, because I've mentioned, I imagined like what was happening with this piece. And there we are. So the next part is to complete this the final ones, and you can do like you can imagine as if it were a regular Megaminx, and here we if we just focus on the external edges, and here we have like the figure that is like this. Obviously I don't know if they have like a name in a specific lane, because it should be like the yellow cross on the 3x3, on the regular 3x3, but it is solved like this. I forgot something. We have to turn these to pieces, but we will use a trick. If you, well, obviously it's difficult, but on the part that was like with more speed, I did like the algorithm that I told you before, that is pasear el perrito. It helps us to turn 180 degrees to edges, or it can do some things with the corners, but we're gonna use it here. As you can see, I want all the external edges that have gray to have their gray part facing to the gray face, and I'm just missing these two. Here these three faces have a type 0 turn, and I'm gonna put one here and mix this. Now I'm gonna execute the algorithm that I've told you before, the pasear el perrito. And this turns 180 degrees these two edges, external edges. And now I'm gonna put here the other one, do the same movement here, and undo or do again the algorithm. It doesn't matter, because we are not solving yet the corners, neither the internal or external. And there we are. We undo this movement, and all the gray ones are facing to the gray face. And now we can do cycles as the ones that we do all this part of the resolution, for matching these internal edges with their color. and we're just missing one, and there they are. Here I didn't have any problem, but can happen that just two of them are wrong. I mean that they are the other way around, you know what do I mean? And that happens because on this cube we are building the order, well, like the I don't know how to explain that, the like these ones, the internal edges, and they are the only pieces that told us where a piece goes. And if I what can happen that if I build, for example, all these internal edges one place at the right or at the left, that like situation, like a parity, can happen. But it doesn't matter, this is not a tutorial and I guess that I won't show it. For the next part we're gonna solve the internal corners, I mean these pieces, and that's gonna be very easy. What do we need here? We need 3 faces. One of them should be a 0 type, no, 1 type, sorry, a type 1 turn, and the other 2 ones 0 type turn. I don't know if it's correct to say that because I don't know if it has translation, doesn't matter. What's the main idea here? I'm gonna build the internal corners of this face using a trick like this. I have one corner here, and I'm gonna cycle 2 corners here with this one, like this. I put it, then since this face is type 1, I turn and I undo. And as you may notice, I turned these 3 pieces, and the main idea is to do that, but obviously we can do like setups. For example, here we have a green. It doesn't matter if I undo this this pink, but let's see. I'll take here this green, and now what can I do? I can do a setup, like putting, well, let's do it with this one. Now on the face type 1 turn, I have a free space where I would like to put a green, and here I have it. And I could put it and return, but guess what? There's another trick. If we have one already matched with its color, we can use it as a as this. We put, it looks like if we haven't done anything, but in real, there it is. We make a cycle of these 3 pieces, but since 2 of them were of the same color, we didn't affect the other ones here, and that's gonna be that's gonna get a lot of value. And the main idea is to do exactly that with all the colors. Obviously this is not gonna be the only spot where we can do that. We can do that here, and obviously something that we have to keep in mind too is that we can make setups, like for example this one, and here I have a clear green, and I can put it. I guess it's gonna be more interesting to do this, and then I have to undo this, the movement that I did here and the movement that I did here. You need to well, you must undo all the movements for the setups. And also we can do it like if we were left-handed. For example, here I have this orange, I could put it like this. Here I have the place, here I change, and well, I don't know, this place, the one that I want to return. And then we can do undo and undo. We can play with that algorithm, with that general idea, because I didn't show you like the notation of which movement to do, just like the intuitive idea of what am I doing. But guess what, you can't do this algorithm if you have here a type 1, because it will destroy the things that we've created before, that we built. And so let's continue. Well, I won't comment anymore till something interesting appears, okay? Okay, I guess that I'll change the face, the type 1 face that I'm using for the next steps, well, for the next movements, because I've just well, as you can see, I've just solved most of the internal corners of the surrounding faces, and I don't know. Well, I'm gonna continue and you're gonna watch it like more fast. Another idea that I'm gonna show you, well, another algorithm, and another technique, another trick, is that we can do like a cycle of this, of three of these pieces, sorry, like this. For example, I wanna put here the orange, and I'm gonna put one, then like if you were putting one of the others, and return. And I just did like a cycle there. And I don't know what did I change here. Let me see. I guess that there is. I was about to destroy everything because I forgot like the setup. But no, there was no problem at the end. Okay, I guess that those were all the internal corners. Now we are gonna do finally the external corners, and this is gonna be very easy because we just need again 3 of 0 type turn faces as these ones. And this is gonna be something like this. There you were able to watch how did I solve this piece, and that's the main idea for all the cube. We are gonna be doing like this algorithm. Well, it's not like an algorithm because obviously you can use it if you have the 3 0 type turn faces, but like this, if you are left-handed or something like that, doing setups, obviously you have to take care that not to destroy the things that you've just built. For example, here I'm gonna make a setup. I wanna put this piece, so I guess I'll do something like this. Then I put like this piece, it doesn't matter, it isn't built yet, and there they match. And on doing the previous movements, I'm able to solve this piece. And that's like the main idea. This part is not the hardest, but well, it has its tricks. I put this one, but as you can notice, it is not oriented correctly, but it's easy to solve. Why? Because if we have, as I told you, 3 type 0 turn faces, we can use the most known algorithm for turning corners on the 3x3. I mean this one. Well, this is like that same algorithm but undoing for making less movements, but it's the same idea, exactly the same. And we're gonna and I'm gonna solve it without comments because the video right now has more than 1 hour long. And there we go. Okay, I've noticed that I did something wrong. I did this algorithm with type a type 1 turn face here, but I hope not have problems. Yes, I guess that there it is. I was able to fix that. Here is the spot that I was looking for, because these three faces have the 0 type turn. But I lose the train of thought. Let me continue. Okay, now all the pieces are in their place. We're just missing to turn these external corners. This one is gonna be very easy. In fact, I'm gonna do the algorithm that I did before, that is similar to the algorithm that you use on the 3x3 for solving the corners, but undoing what you do first for making less movements. Now, oh, here we can, no, here, yes, here we have a spot of 3 faces that have type 0 turn, so we can do the previous algorithm for solving. And there we are. Here is the cube complete, and it took more than 1 hour for solving it, obviously commenting and having mistakes as the one with these pieces, but there it is, guys. Leave me on the comments any doubt or any idea that you could have for doing a step of this solving method faster. Well, that's the video, and I'll see you the next time you got a parody. Goodbye.